Senate declares after over 1 year of investigation, zero collusion evidence by Amy Moreno for TruthFeed News. He ain't got nothing. Senate Intel Committee Chairman Richard Burr declared there's no evidence of Russian collusion. This statement comes after over a year of intense investigation. If there was collusion, they would have found it by now. This Russia probe is a political stunt and a clown show that is wasting taxpayers' time and money. From Breitbart, Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Richard Burr said Tuesday the committee has no conclusions yet related to Russia collusion. We will continue to work towards collusions related to any cooperation or collusion by any individual, campaign, or company with efforts to influence the outcome of elections or to create societal chaos in the United States, Burr said during the committee's annual hearing on worldwide threats. The lack of conclusions come after more than a year of investigation, which began on January 23, 2016. Since then, the committee has conducted more than 100 interviews, totaling 250 plus hours and 4,000 pages of transcripts, 11 hearings, and reviewing almost 100,000 pages of documents. A spokeswoman for Burr indicated the committee was still in the fact-finding stage. We aren't making the conclusions before the facts are assembled. The committee will continue to follow the facts where they lead, she said. One potential impediment is that the committee has not yet been able to bring Trump dossier author Christopher Steele before the committee, despite several attempts. Burr acknowledged in October the committee will hit a wall in interviewing Steele and that their efforts to him have gone unaccepted. The committee cannot really decide the credibility of the dossier without understanding things like who paid for it, who are your sources and sub-sources, he said in October. He also warned Steele to come before the committee or face embarrassment. That's what he has to face, embarrassment. But it is not clear whether anything has been done in that regard. That will be done in a very public way. In fact, you turned down the private offer, he said in October. It has recently come to light that Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chairman Mark Warner tried to use Washington lobbyist Adam Waldman to get Steele to come before the committee. The relationship between Waldman and Steele has raised red flags since Waldman also works for Russia aluminum oligarch Oleg Deripaska, who is close to President Vladimir Putin and was engaged in a legal battle with former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley and Crime and Terrorism Subcommittee Chairman Lindsey Graham recently sent a letter to a lawyer of Deripaska asking whether Steele has ever worked for him. If Steele, who runs a private business intelligence firm in London, has ever worked for Deripaska, it would raise questions as to whether he fed dirt to Steele for the dossier, particularly about Manafort. Notably, Senator Tom Cotton, a member of the Intelligence Committee, asked FBI Director Christopher Wray whether Steele had ever worked for Deripaska. Wray said it was not something he could answer, but said there was more that could be said during a classified hearing. Also notable is the rest of the Senate Intelligence Committee's investigation is moving along at a faster pace. One part of the investigation is on election security, Burr said. He hoped to have a public overview and hearing on recommendations before the primaries begin next month. The committee also reviewed the Intelligence Committee's assessment in December that the Russians meddled in the election to help Trump. Burr indicated that part was done and that the review would be made public. He said in October that there was already general consensus that the committee trusted the assessment. We hope to report on what we found to support the findings where it's appropriate to be critical if in fact we saw areas that we came up short, he said. He also indicated the committee has done, indicated what the committee was done with the review of what was learned from Russia's intrusions into the U.S. system. In the response, Burr said in October that the committee could certifiably say no vote totals were affected by Russian hacking during the election. Burr gave no timeline as to when the collusion portion of the investigation would be finished. The committee will release findings on the final portion of the investigation at that date, Burr's spokesman said. So again, a runaround. So Christopher Steele is not coming forward, and that the only thing he has to face is embarrassment. What? Does that make any sense to anybody? Because it certainly doesn't make any sense to me. So why are we still continuing with this? If the Senate Intel Committee Chairman Richard Burr declared there's no evidence of Russian collusion, why is this continuing? Why? He doesn't have anything is true. If they had something, they would have shown it already. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.